Very good evening, everyone, and a hearty welcome to all of you to Aurora online classes. Dear students, once again I am here with a new lesson for you from your first flight book, and the name of the lesson is The 100 Dresses Part 1. Actually, there are two stories, The 100 Dresses Part 1 and The 100 Dresses Part 2. And these two stories are by a very famous American writer, L. Basor Esther. And she was, actually, L. Basor Esther, she was a very famous writer of America, and this story, The 100 Dresses Part 1 and The 100 Dresses Part 2 were written in 1944, and it is still as popular today, and it is still as popular as it was when it was published. So what does this story tell us about? Before I go in this story, or before I tell you this story, actually I would make you familiar with four characters of this story, and there are three prominent characters of this story. We have Peggy. So number one, we have Wanda. Second, Peggy plus Maddie. And third is, one is a teacher. Some miss is there. Some lady teacher is there. And this teacher actually is a very mature and intelligent teacher. So we have three characters in this story. Wanda is a Polish girl. Polish means she is from Poland. So Wanda is a Pole, P-O-L-E, Pole. Pole means one who is from Poland. So she is from Poland. So the native of Poland is called Pole or Polish. So she is a Polish girl, and her father emigrated to America, living in the poor area of the town in America. So Wanda is a Polish girl. Peggy and Maddie, they are friends, and they are American. They are American. They are students and one teacher. Actually, the Polish American community in the US, try to understand it. Actually, what happens that Chicago is the second largest town or place in America where there is the second largest concentration of Polish after Poland. Polish means those who are from Poland. Poland is a European country. So those who migrated from Poland to America, they settled there many years ago. They are called Polish American. So Wanda is a Polish girl. Her father, her family emigrated to America many years ago, and he was working in America. He was not a rich man, he was a poor man. So Wanda is a Polish, she is a Pole. Her father is in America. They are living in the poor town, or they are living in the poor area of a town in America, Bogans Height. So now they are settled in America, and they are in the Bogans Height. This Bogans Height is a place in America where Paulus lives. Peggy and Maddie, they are Americans. They are from America only. And actually, Wanda, she's from other countries. She's from Poland. Her father is living in America, and all of them. And she is a poor girl, Wanda, but very talented. And actually, Wanda, Peggy, and Maddie, they are classmates, and they study in the same school, in the same class, and their classroom is room number 13. So all of them are studying in an American school. Actually, the native people discriminate the migrants one. Means the native people, it is quite natural that there is a discrimination on the basis of caste, community, religion. So in the US, those who are from Ireland, means Irish, those who are Jews, those who are Germans, means people from other parts of the world are living in USA, they are living in America, and they are discriminated by the natives of America. So there is a discrimination on the basis of caste, sometimes on the basis of community, and also on the basis of religion. So actually, Wanda is from Poland. Her family migrated from Poland to USA. They are settled in America, and they are also discriminated by the natives of America. So how do the children behave with Wanda? Let us see in this story. I'll give you the detailed summary of this story, and once you go through the book, I would definitely tell you that it is needed for you to go through the book, but I'll give you the detailed summary that will definitely help you to understand the chapter well. It will give you the better understanding of the lesson. So let's start. Actually, this story is based on the real life situation. It is based on the real life experience of El Bashor Esther. She was also a student of that class. I'll disclose the secret later on, isn't it? So it's a true story. Let us try to understand it. Now, so Peggy and Maddie, they are Americans. Wanda is a Polish American. She is from Poland and living in America. So those who are from Poland living in America are called Polish American community. Polish means one who is from Poland. You can also call it Polish means from Poland, or Pole you can also call Pole. So she is a Pole, Wanda is a Pole. Let's begin. This story has two parts. 100 Days part 1. First point is Wanda Petronsky in the class. So Wanda Petronsky sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row. Wanda Petronsky, it's a Polish name, and name is quite funny, very strange and tongue twister. So Wanda Petronsky sat in the seat. She used to sit in the class, or her seat was next to the last seat in the last row. And that was the seat. It was in the room number 13. All of them studied in room number 13. Their classroom was room number 13. And actually that was the corner in the last bench, in the last row, I would say, next to the last row. And actually their the students, the boys, those who were rough, those who were not good at study, they used to sit there. And when they used to come, so it was this corner where there was most a scuffing of the feet. The students used to make the floor dirty with the dust. They used to, and they used to scuff their feet. They used to tap their feet on the floor. So since her seat was next to the last row, and it was surrounded by the boys, those boys who were not good at studies, their work was to disturb the class. They were the ruffian ones, and they were the rough boys. And not only they were the rough boys, and they had nothing to do but study. And they, if anything funny was said, means when something funny was said, those students who used to sit at the back of the class, they used to uh, burst into peals of laughter. They used to roar in the class, they used to shout in the class, they used to laugh in the class. So Vanda used to sit next to the last row. This was. Now, second point is this: very quiet and lonely. Vanda was from a poor family, and she was not mixed up with the American students. She was from Poland. She kept herself lonely, and she was quiet. She remained quiet. She did not talk too much to the students, to her classmates sitting in the class. She came to school all alone, and she went back home all alone. She had nothing to do with the classmates of her class. So actually, Vanda, nobody knew why she chose to sit in the last row. Perhaps she came from a place, Boggins Heights. Boggins Heights is in America, where it was the place where immigrants lived. So this was a place in America, Boggins Heights, where the people from Poland used to live there. So it was a poor locality, and she came from there. She came all alone, and her feet were also, means Vanda's feet were also usually covered with mud. It was covered with, not mud, I would say, means her feet usually, isn't it? Her feet were usually covered with dry mud, means dust. And nobody really thought about Vanda's absence. When she was in the class, nobody took notice of Vanda. But see, Vanda remained absent for a few days. Nobody took notice of why she was absent. But these two girls, I mean Peggy and Maddie, they took notice of Vanda. They thought that Vanda was absent from the class. She remained absent for a few days. So they were curious to know as to why Vanda remained absent for a few days. Because these two girls, Peggy and Maddie, used to make fun of Vanda. They used to make fun, they used to tease Vanda. Peggy was the most popular girl in the class. She was rich, and she was very beautiful, rich and talented also. And she wore, Peggy wore nice dresses, costly dresses, expensive dresses, as she was rich. Her hair was curly, she was beautiful, and she was also good at studies. Maddie was the best friend of Peggy, but Maddie was also poor. She was not rich like Peggy. Peggy was the most popular girl in the class. She was talented, she was intelligent, she was good at studies, she was beautiful. Her hair was curly. She was from a rich family. She wore expensive dresses. Maddie was her best friend, and Maddie used to sit with Peggy. But Maddie was not rich, she was poor. and she used to put on dresses given by Peggy. So actually Peggy used to give her old dresses, and it was Maddie's mother who used to make some trimmings to the dresses, and then her dresses looked something new or looked something unique. But she was poor. Means Maddie was also poor, like Wanda. So Wanda actually was poor. She kept herself lonely. She was all alone. She came from Boggins Height. It is a poor locality where there was the largest concentration of the people from Poland. So the people from Poland used to live in large numbers in Boggins Height. And she came to school all alone, and she went back home all alone. She was not mixed up with, she did not mix up with her classmates. Wanda Petronsky, actually an object of fun. As I have said right now that her classmates thought of Wanda only when she was outside. They did not tease Wanda inside the campus of the school. They used to wait for Wanda, and they used to make fun of Wanda outside the school. They used to tease her, चिढ़ाते थे ये लोग, मजाक उड़ाते थे. They used to mock at her. So they waited for Wanda to have fun with her, and after 2 days, Peggy and Maddie noticed that Wanda was not there in the class. After 2 days, when Wanda remained absent for 2 days, then they took a notice that Wanda was not in the class. As I have said right now that Peggy was the most popular girl in the class. She had pretty clothes, her hair was curly, she was very rich. Now, point number 4, funny name. She was from Poland. She was a Polish American. Her father was living in America. And her name was a strange something funny. That's why they used to make fun of her. It was very difficult to pronounce her name. Some names are quite, quite strange. They are very funny. Funny name. Wanda Petronsky was rather a strange name for the children in room number 13. They used to study in room number 13. That was their classroom. And they didn't have names like that. Means those children didn't have names like Wanda Petronsky. Petronsky is tongue twister. It's very difficult to pronounce such a name. So her name was quite different from the names of other children. So they had names easy to say, like Thomas, Smith, Ellen. Their names means the children, American children, had easy names to pronounce with. Means one could pronounce their names so easily, but it was a bit difficult to pronounce Wanda's Petronsky's name. She came. So, and Wanda didn't have any friends in the class. She came to school alone and went home alone, as I said. She was a poor girl, and she always wore a faded blue dress. Keep it in mind. Wanda always put on faded, means colorless, faded blue dress. But it was clean. Her dress was clean. She was very much particular about the cleanness of her dress. She used to come to school in the faded blue dress, but it was neat and clean, it was tidy. Though it was not expensive because she was poor. And it was clean but never ironed properly. Her dress means Wanda's dress was not ironed properly, but it was clean. And she always wore, or she came to school in faded blue dress. Point number 5. Peggy making fun of Wanda. Peggy would always try to make fun of Wanda in a most courteous manner. She used to tease her. And Maddie was also with Peggy. Peggy and Maddie, they are Americans and they are best friends. Peggy was very rich, Maddie was poor, like Vanda. So she used to make fun of Vanda in a courteous manner. She would ask, she would often ask Vanda. Whenever she saw Vanda, she came with some of her friends and asked her, Vanda, how many dresses do you say had hanging up in your closet? Vanda, how many dresses do you have in your closet, in your almirah? Vanda would answer, 100, means 100 dresses. Means Vanda would reply that she had 100 dresses in her closet, in her almirah. 100. And then Peggy would ask, in a teasing way, in a teasing manner, are all your dresses silk? She would reply, yes, they are all silk, they are all silky, and they are of all colors. Means Vanda claimed to have 100 dresses of different colors. And then before Vanda had gone very far, Peggy used to make a fun of her. And not only Peggy and Maddie, both of them used to make fun of Vanda. They never believed that Vanda had 100 dresses. Even if Vanda had 100 dresses, then why does she come in one such a faded blue dress? And she is not rich. So they thought, means Peggy and Maddie especially, they thought that she is telling a lie. And then they used to make fun, then they used to tease Vanda a lot. Actually, Maggie understood everything. Maggie was also poor. She understood everything, but she did not have the courage to speak up before Peggy, because Peggy was her fast friend, and she could not afford to lose her friendship. She didn't want to lose her friendship. She was always scared. She was always afraid that if she takes a stand or if she speaks in favor of Vanda, next time Peggy would target her. Some other classmates will target her. She knew everything and she did not feel comfortable. She did not feel comfortable on asking such embarrassing questions by Peggy. Means she thought that Peggy asks such embarrassing and uncomfortable questions, and the way she asks, the way she teases, the way she make fun of Vanda by asking such uncomfortable questions, such embarrassing questions, she did not like it. Means even Maddie did not like Peggy's asking such embarrassing and unpleasant questions about her dresses, about her shoes, about her hat. Means about Vanda's dress, about Vanda's shoes, about Vanda's hat. She didn't like it. But she did not have the dare to speak up, because she was just scared that if she takes a stand, if she tries to defend Vanda, Peggy will target her and Peggy will make fun of her and Peggy will break her friendship. So because of this, Maddie did not say anything. So they would again ask Vanda, teasing, how many shoes do you have, Vanda? And Vanda would reply, 60 pairs. So it was quite unbelievable, and they thought that this girl is telling a lie. If she had 100 dresses, then what is she doing with all the dresses? Why does she come in only a faded blue dress? What happened to her shoes? Why doesn't she come to school in different pairs of shoes? And she claims to have 60 pairs of shoes. She claims to have 100 dresses, like that. And they thought that she is telling a lie. And that is why they used to make fun of Vanda. That is why they used to tease Vanda. That is why they used to mock at Vanda. इसलिए उसका मजाक उड़ाते थे. Maddie was different, as I have said. Maddie wasn't like Peggy. She was Peggy's best friend. Maddie was Peggy's best friend. And actually, Peggy questioned Vanda in a very mocking, polite way. And she wished, means Maddie wished Peggy would stop teasing Vanda. She did not like Peggy's way of teasing Vanda. She did not like Peggy's mocking at Vanda. She did not like Peggy's making fun of Vanda. But she was not bold and strong enough to put any question in favor of or to defend Vanda. Now, she, as I have said right now, that she pictured herself in the schoolyard, a new target for Maggie, a new target for Peggy and the girls. Peggy might ask her where she got the dress that she had on. Maddie would have to say it was one of Peggy's old dresses, but she was wearing. Now, then, there was, means a drawing and coloring contest was organized in the class. One day, a drawing and coloring contest was organized in the class. Maddie began to wonder she was going to win the drawing and coloring contest. One more thing I would say, Peggy was also good at coloring and drawing. So the drawing and coloring contest was organized in the class, and there were two different topics for the boys and the girls. That was a co-education system, and actually the topic for the girls was different. What was the topic of coloring and what was the topic of coloring? What was the topic of coloring and drawing contest for the girls? For the girls, it was the topic of drawing and coloring was to design dresses. Means designing dresses was the topic of drawing and coloring for the girls, and to design motorboats was the topic of drawing and coloring for the boys. So both the boys and the girls had different topic for drawing and coloring. And everybody was sure that Peggy would, the girls were sure of Peggy. They were dead sure about Peggy, that Peggy would win this contest. Peggy would win this contest because she was good at painting. She was good at drawing. So they were sure about Peggy. But when the result was announced by the teacher, Miss Mason, actually Miss Mason was a very good teacher. She was so loving and caring, and she took great care of Vanda. So Miss Mason announced the result. Miss Mason announced the result that go to that hall and see 100 designs for dresses lined up in the hall, and the winner is none other than Vanda Petronsky. So Vanda Petronsky was declared the winner of the drawing and coloring contest, and it was really it was really a matter of great surprise for everyone that Vanda won the contest. Nobody could believe that Vanda would win the contest because they knew nothing about Vanda. But Vanda had made the designs of all colors. She had made the designs for 100 dresses. And these designs were quite attractive. They were so beautiful that each piece of design would get the first prize. So everybody appreciated the beautiful design of dress made by Vanda, and on that particular day Vanda was absent. Vanda was absent on the day of the result. She was not there, and her name came to be the front. Her name was declared as the winner of the contest. And this is the end of the story. Vanda, actually she had 100 dresses. Actually, dear students, now the secret is revealed here. Actually, she was a poor girl. She did not have 100 dresses, but she was very talented and creative, and she had the picture of 100 dresses in her imagination. She had the picture of 100 dresses in her imagination. So this was her talent. And she did not have 100 dresses in physical form. She had the picture of, she had the design of 100 dresses in her mind, in her imagination. So this was the thing. This was the thing, my dear students. So then she claimed to have 100 dresses. This was the thing. So with this, the chapter comes to an end. Thank you very much, all of you. I am sure that you have understood it. Thank you very much.